Hello again and welcome to another edition of Southern Country. Hi, I'm Herb Southern and welcome to the show. On this show I have Emerson Drive with us. How you doing, guys?
We're doing very good.
Awesome. Good to have you back.
Thanks for having us back.
Yeah, been a while, 2 years.
It has been a while,
yeah. All right, let's talk about Emerson Drive. No mountain too high. You guys crossed the Canadian border and climbed the country charts to come out on top of Nashville. Is that true?
Well, I guess 8 years ago we made the start back home in this group, and it's been very good. This last couple of years since we talked to you last has been very good to us, and we're very happy to be able to still be making music today and traveling on the road still.
I'm so happy for you guys too.
Thank you.
Since talked to you, had one single out, and you were just starting out, and here we are. You know, thinking about going to make your second album, actually.
That's right.
All right. With all your influences from your past, country, rock and roll, and taking into consideration there's 6 of you, explain the Emerson Drive sound that they hear on the CD.
Well, we played so many bars over the years, and you know, we had to play like 6 nights a week, 5 sets a night, so we had to cover from country to rock and like Dave Matthews to Merle Haggard and stuff. So everybody too in the band came up from different style, and I come from more traditional, and got rock, jazz, country to new country, and all this blues. So that's how I think we got the sound of Emerson Drive, by playing together and just mixing all those styles together, and we became Emerson Drive. That's us.
All right. You still got that fresh, young sound, and the roots are in country music yet?
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's talk about your CD, some of the songs. Light of Day. Tell us about Light of Day. Brad, you did a great job on that one.
Thank you. You know, when I was actually, I feel a little under the weather that day we cut that song. And I sang it through a couple times, and I said, that's it, my voice is shot, and they kept it actually, and that's it on the CD.
There you go.
So I guess you never really know what, sometimes the good stuff comes out.
If you don't say it, they would never know it. How about Evidence? What's a talking box guitar effect?
Talk box, it's a funny thing. It's a little box. You got a tube, like a clear tube that goes in your mouth, and when you play, the sound comes in your mouth. It comes out in your mouth, and you move your mouth, and it makes like, seems like the guitar is talking.
Get out.
And it goes back into the microphone.
Get out. You do that on stage?
Yeah, well, we play the whole band. Tonight we're not doing it tonight, but
okay.
But yeah, we do that.
I think it rattles your feelings out, doesn't it?
Yeah. I have to go to the dentist after 3 months.
Looking over my shoulder. Who did that? Pat on fiddle, I know.
Looking Over My Shoulder was, one of those songs that was just a very catchy, up-tempo song. Seems like a great, driving your car summer song. And, all the songs that we picked on the album were something that, that connected with us in some way or other.
How do you pick a song for the album? You have to feel that song when you pick it?
Yeah, absolutely.
How many songs were written?
On the first album, there was about 40 songs written for the first album, and we listened to hundreds and hundreds of songs to try and find the right ones. And that's the tough thing about being a group, is that individually you have to like the song, and then collectively you have to like it together. So I think we did pretty well finding songs for the first CD, and the second CD we just finished up a couple months ago, and we're looking forward to getting new music out there for everybody.
How about Only God? Mutt Lang wrote that.
Yeah, we got lucky with that one, that's for sure. We actually listened to it for the first time in DreamWorks' office, and Mutt Lang was actually singing the demo.
Wow.
And man, he got a high voice on him, and I thought to myself, oh my God, how am I ever going to get that high? But anyway, no, I never did.
No,
brought it down so I could sing it.
There you go, to your level.
Anyway, it turned out to be a great song for us. So,
how about Falling Into Me?
Falling to Me was a song that we thought the album was finished, and I was like in December, so oh my God, we got the album done and stuff, and came January, the label called us, says, oh guys, there's one that came through the office, I think it's totally for you guys, and there's that guy named Richard Marks who thinks he wants to produce you guys for that song. So we went to meet with Richard and stuff, and went in the studio, and the chemistry was there, and we recorded the song, and it became our second single, and went number 2 and 3.
How about showing a video? Which one do you want to show? There's 3 videos. Which one?
Let's do the first one.
Okay.
I should be sleeping.
Now, say something to everybody about the taping, where it was done, and something unusual happened.
Well, actually, we shot this video in Tootsie's, downtown Nashville, a little bar there that's very famous. During the shooting, I actually got hit in the head with a bass guitar, and it cut the bottom of my eye open. So what they did, a little bit of blood coming out, and they didn't want to cancel the video shoot or nothing. My God, we get in trouble on our first video. So what they did was they put some Preparation H underneath my eye, and I got called butthead for the rest of the day.
Your music leans toward country and the pop side. Explain that.
Yeah, well, like Danik was saying, I mean, we come from many different backgrounds, and the one thing that we're trying to do is be true to our music. And what you hear on an Emerson Drive CD is basically what we've learned over the last 8 years as a band. So,
which song on your CD is more traditional sound than country?
What would you say, Danik, on the first CD?
On the first CD, more traditional country. I See Heaven will be.
Yeah, and I mean, other stuff too, like some of the songs that we've written for the first CD that never made it on, stuff like that. Trying to find the best songs for the CD, that's the toughest part, and sometimes your songs don't make it on because you find better ones. But
and I think for more traditional sound on the song that's got a most traditional sound, I think it's all in every song. You gotta, all the styles are mixed together in every song, and you can pinpoint, I think, everything.
Which is the more rock and roll one?
I would say Passionate Desperate Love.
Yeah, it's all about you.
It's all about you.
Okay. When recording your self-titled CD, you guys sang every note yourself?
Yeah, we were very lucky. Our record label DreamWorks was kind enough to let us play on the CD every note and sing every note too, and that doesn't happen too often in Nashville anymore when a band gets to do that.
That's a little unusual for today's standards?
Absolutely, and yeah, it's not because the bands can't play it, it's because of time and money, and they have the best musicians in the world in Nashville. They're playing most of the records,
Sure.
and that's why they're there. But to be a band, it's nice to hear your own sound on a CD.
What you hear on the CD is what you hear on the show.
Absolutely. That's what we try and do, is just recreate the sound that we do everywhere.
You had a lot of creative freedom on that CD?
Absolutely. The
like
label was, I mean, when it comes to picking songs, songwriting, different solos, if it came to singing, anything. I mean, it was totally, they just basically gave us a project and go ahead and show us what you do at the end.
You did a good job.
Thank you.
What has changed since you had 2 top 5 singles? I'm talking professional life now, career-wise.
Well, that thing over there, that's we purchased a bus about 2 months ago, and
That's not a converted school bus?
No, not that one. No, we moved up. It's been good though. I think that's the neat steps that we've taken in the last 8 years. Going from a school bus and then to a van and now up to a bus like this. So it's a great feeling to be able to look over there and say, we own that now.
Isn't that nice? That's some bus. Explain the feeling of playing your own songs instead of cover songs now.
Well, I grew up playing in a lot of cover bands. I'm a new fella to the band, and it's pretty amazing because when I was about a year ago, I was in a cover band back in Canada, and we were just going to cover I Should Be Sleeping, and I got the call for the gig. So that's how I feel. It's like pretty amazing to actually want to cover the song, and now I'm a part of the group.
Isn't that nice?
It's pretty wild.
Pretty nice thing. And people actually come and listen to you guys, and actually, I read an article, they actually pay to see you guys now, huh? Playing your own songs. That's weird, man.
Yeah, you got that right.
That had to be a turn on.
What a great feeling.
What a great feeling.
To be able to.
I'm just kidding you guys.
No.
I read that. I happened to read in one of your bios. You actually come to pay us. You guys are like so surprised. 300 days on the road, huh?
Still. Nothing has changed ever since we got a record deal. We've been still hitting the road as much as we used to, so it's part of our lives. That's what it's all about.
You guys get along okay, huh?
Well, you have to, don't you?
Yeah. Where did the name Emerson Drive come from?
It comes from a road back home called Emerson Trail, and it's kind of a unique little road. Connects to the mile zero point of the Alaska Highway.
Yep.
So you're way up there.
Way up there, huh?
Right.
Why'd you pick that name?
Something to tie with back home.
Okay.
When we first started out, our band name was 12 Gauge.
I wrote that.
Yeah, and when we changed the name to Emerson Drive, there was a few people back home that were quite upset about it.
How long were you at 12 Gauge?
Just about 2 years.
Oh, you were 12 Gauge 2 years, and then before you even got to Nashville, you were Emerson Drive.
Yeah, that's right.
I see.
So it was kind of funny because anyone back home, who knows the band, lots of people still, recognize this as 12 Gauge.
Yeah.
That's how it first started out. So.
Why did you change the name? What was it, just you to recognize something more at home?
I think at the time we just kind of went through a couple of changes, musically, appearance-wise, and there was a couple things going on too. Like the name 12 Gauge was actually taken down here already in the States by a rap group.
Oh, okay.
So we were going to mess with the boys down here. We want to change the name. It worked out for the best. So.
How'd you guys meet? All of you guys, you know, how'd everybody get together? High school contest?
Yeah, high school. You bet. It all started in high school, and Danik played with a band up in Canada for about 3.5 years, and we were looking for a guitar player at the time. He came over and played a couple weeks with us and loved it, and decided to finish out his summer with his gig that he was already on, and came over to us in the fall. So
jumped on the bus.
Absolutely. So from that, I mean, we could go on and on, but from that, Mike, Danik knew Mike really well back home, so Mike jumped on board, and the rest of the boys, it all fell into place for us.
All fell in. You had a 7-piece band at first.
Yeah, sometimes there was 8 or 9 on the stage.
Okay. What happened to that other piece? You know?
Well, that was in high school, and that's when the parents, you know, once we finished high school and started traveling, that's when some of the parents were like, "My boy's not doing this for a living.
Okay.
You come back home." But our parents were very fortunate. You know, we're very fortunate to be able to do what we do still.
Danik, you traveled around the world with a farmer's daughter.
Yes, I did.
Let's clarify, that's a group, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a group.
Okay,
It's
a trio.
Okay.
I was playing for 3 girls. So I was a guitar player. I was not a farmer's daughter. Yeah, I've been quite a lot of places, and it was quite the experience.
I bet it was.
And traveling with Emerson Drive now, it's been 7 years. No, 6 years. I don't know, 6, 7.
6 years.
It's been a while.
And you sang Blue Suede Shoes as your first song, huh, Danik?
Yeah, I was 3 years old. That was my first song.
You still have it in the show?
Well, we used to. He decided to cut it out a bit because he was getting so much attention on the stage. Elvis fans were starting to come out to see him play.
Oh, man. How did you guys, who sang the earliest here? How did you guys get started back in the early days of singing? How old were you when you started to sing?
Geez, that's a good question. I was probably about 5 or 6, I think.
Or realized that you wanted to be a singer?
Yeah. I think, well, me personally, I remember going to a family friend. They had a piano in the basement.
There you go.
Started noodling around on it. Folks said, well, take him in for some lessons, see what he can do. And David?
I've been playing fiddle since I'm 5 years old, and I've always been a showman. So
there you go.
I think I've always knew what I wanted to do.
David's done piles and piles of traveling around the world too, so he's a great asset to the band.
How old were you?
When you started to think you were going to play music for a living?
I was
sing your first song.
I started at 12 years old playing bass, but when I was really young, like at 5 years old, I asked for a guitar for Christmas. So I don't know. I wish I don't know.
I wanted to be in a heavy metal band when I was like 6 years old. So I carved myself a guitar in a piece of wood, and I thought I was the singer of Metallica for a while. But those years have gone, and now I'm a happy guy.
There you go.
Mikey tells us straight, huh?
He tells us just the way it is, huh? He didn't sugarcoat that one at all. How many changes have been in the band? You lost a couple guys?
Yeah.
I last saw you.
You bet. Actually, just in this past year, we've lost a couple guys, and it's one thing, you know, to be a group, we're on the road so much, but if you're going to try and balance family and children and houses and stuff, it's a tough thing to do. So basically, the guys that left had, you know, they made a choice to let this go and go back home and be a part of their family life. So you got to give them credit, you know, for being gentlemen and doing that. And but you know, now we've stepped into place with Dale and David, and they've been absolutely incredible for us. So
let's pick another song. Let's show it here.
You bet. This will be our second single, "Fall Into Me."
Talk about where it was taped underwater.
Under the water.
Under the water.
And
who got the lucky part down there?
Well,
He did.
I drew. My straw was longer than Derek's that day, so I got to go underneath the pool.
Kiss the girls? Kiss the girls?
And kiss the, yeah, her mom and dad were there too at the video shoot. That was kind of embarrassing.
Where were you when you first heard I should be sleeping on the radio for the first time?
Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Everybody was together?
We were in a van actually.
Wow.
And we were actually going to the radio station for our very first, we were on the radio tour. It's the very first stop we ever did. And driving to the radio station, it came on. And we were dead silent for like 3 minutes.
Couldn't believe it.
No, couldn't believe it.
You cranked that radio up to blow the speakers out?
We blew the speakers right out of it.
How did it feel to hear that on your radio? That had to be mind-boggling.
Yeah, incredible feeling to be from a bunch of guys from Canada and be down in the United States and get your song played on the radio. It's like it's such an accomplishment for us, like at the start of it, maybe an accomplishment. But it was quite something. We were all excited.
You played the Opry already?
Yeah, twice now.
Oh, wow, good. How was it?
Incredible. The first time we played it wasn't televised, so still, we had Ricky Skaggs come on the stage and introduce us. That was incredible. And the second time we just did it during Fanfare this past year, and that was amazing. you know, to have everyone watch us back home on TV on the Grand Ole Opry. I mean, Danik's parents, you know, him growing up traditionally, they were just freaking out. They couldn't believe he was up there, you know.
It's incredible.
How it had to be one of the highs of your career so far today.
Absolutely.
It had to be.
You know, to be a part of the industry.
Tradition.
And to be accepted like that, too. And like you said, the history behind the whole thing is absolutely amazing.
Tell us about the time you're singing the Star Spangled Banner and the Canadian National Anthem. And when and where?
It was actually, we did a show up in New York State. You remember that last year? And they made us sing the Canadian anthem at a U.S. show. It was kind of funny. Yeah. There was only a couple Canadians down there, but they decided since we're Canadians, they wanted to sing the Canadian anthem. So that was probably the first time we did that. And we sang a couple anthems at, you know, basketball games, baseball games, rodeos and stuff.
Why do you look to other artists for advice, like Toby Keith and Lone Star?
Those guys have been around the block. They're doing the same thing we are. It's funny to look at the schedule that they did when they were coming up, and we're doing the exact same thing. You know, small fairs from day to day and festivals, and I think it's the right way to go. You know, as long as you follow those big stars, I think you're on the right steps.
What advice do you have for the people out there that are trying to get started in the music business?
Stick with it. There you go. That's it. You know, lots of times you're down and out. It's like a big roller coaster ride out here, but as long as you stay focused and you know what your dream is, no one can take that from you.
Before we close the show, I want to mention some awards. 203 had CMT Flame-worthy nomination for Falling Into Me. Yeah. 2002 to CCMA, that's the Canadian Country Music Association. Make sure that everybody knows what it is. Group or Duo of the Year. Chevy Truck Rising Star Award. What's that?
One. That's basically just a rising star.
They gave you Chevy?
No, I wish they gave us dinky cars, you know.
The little Matchbox, huh?
Yeah, Matchbox. That's
2003 ACM Top New Vocal Duo Group, and 2002 Billboard New Country Artist, huh? Yeah. You guys are doing good. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
I remember, you know, a couple years ago, you were just cranking out, you know. When you were on the road 6 years, you stayed in Canada all them years. You never crossed over to the States?
We did it for around 4 years, steady in Canada. But each year we'd go down to Nashville and do showcases for labels. And after the 4 years, we started playing down south as much as we could.
Somebody said you guys are compared to Alabama 20 years ago. Is that true?
You know, we heard a funny story about Alabama last year. We did a fair in Ohio, and the promoter said it was so weird for him because he saw a bunch of young guys coming out of a van and trailer, and we walked out, and he said 20 years ago, 30 years ago in Alabama, same thing. They walked out, a bunch of young guys walked up on stage, and they all thought, you know, who did these guys think they are? And they got up there, and all of a sudden, they became big stars.
Making their farewell tour now.
Exactly.
You know. All right. What's on your next CD, the second CD? What can people expect to hear? Anything different?
No, man, I would think it's just a step up from the first CD. I mean, we've been, the first CD, I don't say it was bad, it was great. I mean, it was just green, you know, we're brand new in the recording industry, and now the second CD we're a little bit more comfortable, and I think we just got a little bit more maturity and stuff, and great songs again, so hopefully people like it.
Website. What is your website?
EmersonDrive.com.
There you go. EmersonDrive.com is. You can find where these guys are going, what they're up to, and what's going on in your life. Everything on EmersonDrive.com. All right, the last song. What is we going to play to close the show?
We're going to play the new single right now on the radio.
Only God Can Stop Me Loving You.
Tell us something about it.
This is the Mutt Lange song, and it's doing well for us. It's the first ballad that we've put out on radio, so it's kind of a different feel for us, but we're very excited about it, and we're just crossing our fingers to make sure she goes up the chart a little further.
I want to thank everybody for being on Suds and Country. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And continued success, guys.
Thank you very much.
I'm so happy because, like I said, when I talked to you guys, I didn't know who Emerson Drive was. Now I know who you guys are. You're making a name for yourself.
Right on.
Here's Emerson Drive taking us out in Suds and Country. Thank you once again, guys.
Thank you.